And the first question is, becoming a leader, this paper is based on the idea that everyone can be a leader. If you think of a leadership role you have now, either now or in the past, how did you find yourself in that role? Who would like to start?
Going to come or I will? I will. I'll be
Thanks,
ballsy. I usually am. Well, the beach and boat came from a driving passion of mine to raise some money for a soccer club, actually. So there you go. It's just amazing how ideas come from nothing. And it was supposed to be a one-off event because I got sick of selling meat packs, actually, was what it came down, because I was the only one that was doing fundraising for the club and I'd had enough of it. And I'd always had a history of fishing, and I thought I'd always had this idea that we could run a really, really awesome beach and boat combined fishing competition from Bream Bay, because I knew from doing lots of tournaments in the past that was one of the few places in New Zealand where we've got wonderful beach fishing and boat fishing, that combination, plus the infrastructure to be able to cope with a large number of people coming in. So, and then really literally opportunities arose and I just took them, and that's literally how it happened. Well, I heard the Furuno tournament, which was the largest tournament in New Zealand at that time, had ended. And because I had a background in marketing, my little brain went, ooh, maybe I can get some really good prizes for my fishing competition. And then next thing I know, I'm sitting in this boardroom with all these big CEOs of these huge companies. And next thing I knew, I walked out and they'd given me the rights, and I literally felt like I had to pull over when I realised of the motorway. And I thought, shit, how am I going to do this? What have I done? Because I literally had 4 months to put it together. So it just shows, something little can grow just like that just through following steps. I didn't even know that was what I wanted to do. I was in the middle of a degree. I've got 3 children. I had no interest of working again for a while. And now I'm full-time employed and awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
For me, leadership just kind of happened, and it started when I was asked to go on the Spirit of Adventure, a sail training ship. And I was out at sea for about 10 days doing daft things at night, climbing up and down rigging and doing all sorts of weirdo things. But that was a hell of an experience for me, a character forming one, because I learned, when you're at sea, you learn a lot about yourself. A hell of a lot about yourself very, very quick. I think I was about 15 at the time, which is a bit of a Kickstarter. And I really valued that. I thought, wow, this is really seriously cool. Then I went on to sail overseas in other people's yachts and all that sort of stuff, bought my own boats. And I really got a taste for it. Then I went into the military, into the Air Force, and leadership was just built in as a career path right from day one. And I was always chasing my next level of incompetency, from day one right to the final day in the military. And I sort of wondered at 5 years stage, I spent all this time doing exams, learning about electronic stuff and then leadership stuff. Then I found myself in the middle of a war in the Israel desert, bullets flying, bombs going off, and I was flying around in helicopters looking for stuff. And I thought, wow, this is leadership here, where I saw people in battle doing stuff that was just well beyond the call of duty. Something happened, And something happened in me in those situations because I thought, well, big deal. I was trained for it. It was just okay. It was kind of natural. It's okay to be a leader and rise to the occasion. And finally, I sort of think that what's led from my Air Force leadership experiences, now I find myself daily talking to up to 7,000 MBA students online all around the world, not doing their assignments for them, but leading the way for them to get their result. You know what I mean? So I look back on my life, and there's been a transition from the sea through the Air Force to now in an academic environment, and the same principles seem to be applying all the way through. Don't do it for people, let them find the way, just show them the way. And in finding the way for them, you find your way. Does that kind of make sense? I think I found my voice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
And I guess for me, it sort of happened, but it didn't. I was faced outside Smeaton's Road with some hoons, and no one was doing anything, so I they stopped me in my tracks trying to get to my house, and we'd been trying to catch these guys for ages and never did, and I was faced with them, and we were delivering pamphlets, and my children and my nephews jumped in the car scared, and I saw red, so that was it. So faced them, went off my face to them, and things just snowballed from there, because finally someone had stood up to these guys who'd been doing this and raised terror and fear through the whole community. Not just them, but heaps of other things. And so from there, things just happening, like people weren't doing stuff. People weren't, I guess, out of fear. And so out of that became a community barbecue, because we needed to unite the community. When I was going off my face to people, all the people were coming out of their homes, but no one come up to say, hey, is everything all right? Do you want a hand? There was none of that camaraderie. And so I thought from there, shucks, we need unity in this place. And that's how we started our community free barbecues for the community, to introduce neighbours to each other, and just for people to get to know the kids of the street, because they're running rampant and so on. And so this is the 4th year we've had our community barbecue now. So that was the start of things to come and things happen in my community.
Excellent, thanks. Yeah, I was really excited about it today, because I knew we'd get some great stories out of these people.